I'm Bill Bradford, and we welcome you back to the continuation of a fascinating discussion with Kelly Sarber. This is one of the most interesting topics you'll find on energy, renewable, battery energy storage, and more. If you were to look at the obstacles to the development of battery energy storage systems, it seems for lithium ion, it would be supply, and it would be also what to do with it afterwards.
Well, so let's talk about that for a second. So lithium ion, we do have very good recycling companies, startups that have actually really come out of the gate pretty strong. So they're really getting it into position to be able to take back and either repurpose, reuse, or recycle those batteries. So there's really the commitment by the industry is for these batteries to all be recycled. I'd say that the issues around lithium ion also are safety. So we have had events where we've had thermal runaway, where projects have caught on fire, where the communities have been, concerned, about siting. And so I think with lithium ion, especially really large projects, we have to be really conscious of where we site these and make sure that we don't have sensitive receptors that are close by and keep them really in industrial locations.
When you were talking with the Energy Committee from here in Florida, one of the guys had mentioned about the Babcock Farms, Babcock Ranch rather, and it's the hometown of tomorrow is how it bills itself. And it was portrayed on 60 Minutes about how well it stood up when Hurricane Ian, I believe it was, came across the state. And it's got a lot of solar. It's built with resiliency. I believe it's got battery energy storage as well. Do you see many communities like that throughout the United States?
I think almost every community who has, seen sort of the wrath of climate change and what it can do to your community if you don't have power, really start to look at ways of microgridding and becoming islanded. On top of it, we're seeing a lot of new software and ability for there to be give and take, because in the past it just kind of was one way, right? The power came out and you used it.
Mhm.
Now, like for example, when you plug in your car, we want that plug to be able to talk back to us so that we can make sure that it's charging your car during the cheapest time of the day. And that almost becomes like a transmission asset, because if you aggregate that, so let's say you have 1 million of these chargers that are in Southern California, and we can make those smart, that becomes a lot of power that you can control.
I had asked you earlier about the resilience and islanding and all. Do you see many people who are using these types of systems and wheeling the power and using it for and selling it and making money on the difference?
Definitely, especially in that industrial commercial corridor and the folks there. That's a real game changer for them. We're starting to see a lot of corporations. In fact, last year was the biggest record amount of corporations becoming independent power players.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're like a Google or a Facebook and you have the amount of power that they need, those guys have become very sophisticated in actually building their own. Now they're looking at sort of playing at the nexus between providing their own power and providing power to the grid.
I had some discussions with a variety of people around, and they were talking about using the solar panels they've got in the high Sierra and different things to make green hydrogen. Do you see much of that in your area, and do you think that's coming quickly?
So, I mean, no, everybody's talking about it. Green hydrogen, blue hydrogen, brown hydrogen.
Yeah.
There's another thing, a lot of companies trying to get traction to develop these hydrogen hubs with the money from the DOE. The secret with hydrogen is going to be they're super, super energy intensive. And so you need really cheap renewable energy to develop those. But then you've got the problem of water, and also you have a problem of transportation. So there's a lot of research being done on direct injecting hydrogen gas into our currently existing, natural gas pipelines. Well, you're going to hit a certain point where you can't put any more of that in. I'm hearing it's about 25%.
Oh, really?
Hydrogen.
Okay.
But when you really think about electrification and renewable energy, most people will tell you is that renewable energy isn't going to be the bulk, or isn't going to be the workhorse that everybody needs it to be, that there's going to have to be other alternative fuel sources. And that's why hydrogen is so hot right now, excuse the pun, because it's one of the only, climate change fuel resources that isn't considered a fossil fuel, depending on how it's made.